Welcome to the Gay Buddhist Forum, where teachers from all schools of Buddhism offer their perspectives on the Dharma and its application in modern times, especially for LGBTQI audiences. These talks are offered freely to the world and made possible by appreciative listeners. If you would like to support our efforts to share the Dharma with underserved audiences, please visit gaybuddhist.org. There you can donate, find a list of upcoming speakers, or enjoy many hundreds of these recorded talks dating back to 1996.
Before I introduce our speaker, as is our custom, we'll go around and say our names. My name is Ray Dyer.
Douglas. Andres. Doug.
Zabu. Ron.
Peter Dell.
Chris.
Kay. Kurt.
George.
Michael.
My name is Asa. I'm happy to be here.
Harley.
Oscar.
Rich.
Richard.
Jim.
Tom Dwyer.
Paul Shepherd. Jack.
Pete. David.
Don Rupert.
Dean Billaby. Dave.
Steve Carson.
Floyd. Is anyone here for the first or second time today? So today, our speaker is going to be Bruein Baker. He is an acclaimed pianist and choral director. He has a doctorate in music and serves on the faculty of the College of San Mateo. In addition to serving as music director of the Masterworks Chorale in San Mateo and the Unitarian Universalist Church in Berkeley, he maintains a private teaching studio and is an active vocal coach. So, Brian, you want to tell us what you're going to do with us today?
Very nice to meet you. And this is a wonderful space, a wonderful group of people. First and most important is, although I'm going to talk a little bit, I don't think this is really me speaking to you and you sitting and listening. You're going to make noise. So it's really, I don't want to say it's not optional, but it's optimal if you're willing to make noise. And while we are going to sing some tunes, most of it doesn't matter what note comes out of you. So don't worry about singing wrong or singing ugly. None of that is judging today. We're just making sounds and feeling resonance and feeling breath is the primary thing we're going to do. And we can do a lot of this seated, but I hope you're willing to get up later on because that will be good for us. I'm going to talk a little bit about anatomy stuff, none of which you need to remember, but some of the explanations are a little bit useful. First thing I hope we can do is just humming. So the best not to have crossed legs if you're sitting in a chair. That's great. Good. Otherwise, we'll just hum. So just Excellent. Oh, good. This is a nice space for humming. All right. So I want you to hum again, and we're going to try a couple different hums. We're just going to hum what you sort of normally would hum. And then I want you to try to direct the hum to different parts of your head. So I want you to try and put the hum further in the back, and then put the hum further in the front. Oh, and I should tell you, I'm having an allergy day, so if I'm doing this, that doesn't mean anything for you to do. That just means I'm trying to not sneeze. But if I point like this, that means try to make the sound go back. If I'm doing this, that means try to make the sound come forward. Okay? So let's hum again. In the back. Good. And then bring it as far forward as you can. That's good. Okay. Now I want you to open the space between your teeth. Keep your lips together so it's to be this shape. And hum again. Okay. Put the teeth back together. And open your mouth as you hum. Right. Okay, great. So that's a big change in resonance because we changed the space that's in between. So, little tiny anatomy lesson, or maybe not lesson to you because it's very simple. You all know we have a tube, one going to the lungs and one going to the stomach. And at your Adam's apple is where your larynx is. You can all find your Adam's apple. You swallow, it goes up and down. It's this little peaked thing there. And it's there actually to protect your vocal cords and the entrance to your lungs. Vocal cords are two very small things which come together, kind of the size of fingernails, and they come together very, very rapidly, and that's how the sound is produced. When you take a breath, they open up a little bit, the air comes through. When you exhale, the same thing happens. When you talk or when you sing, they just come quickly and vibrate, much, much faster than hummingbirds' wings do. Immediately above the vocal cords is a little tiny space. The sound that comes out of the vocal cords is kind of it's nothing appealing. But immediately in that little space, it changes into something more like a sound, more like an ah. And then it gets filtered and changes as it comes all the way up through this tube, which makes a big curving shape. The curving shape is important because we go up and then it goes this way. And if you're doing something which gets in the way, if you're trying to be too tall or too much the other way, it interferes with the basic shape. And we want to let that basic shape work because that's how our bodies go and that's completely normal for it and pretty much optimal in terms of the function. So the sound comes up here, makes a little change right in there, and then comes out. The resonators that we feel, there are two primary resonators we feel, because we can't feel the actual vibration in the larynx. Unless you're really, really sick, you won't feel the vocal cords. We feel in our chest. Almost all of us have had the experience of being near somebody's chest, or hopefully being on somebody's chest when they're talking. You feel a vibration. And then we feel stuff in our sinus cavities. So they're actually sympathetic vibrations. There's no sound really coming out of your chest. There's just air vibrating in sympathy with your sound. And then the same thing happens up in the sinus cavities. We have sinus cavities all over. This is pretty easy. We all feel that. If you just put your hand on your chest and say, ah, you can feel it, right? A little Tarzan thing. It's easy. This is a little bit harder. So what I'd like you to do is just using your fingers, just tap on your cheekbones a little bit. And tap up above your eyes, yeah. Now depending on the day, and just all over, on the day and on the congestion, you'll feel this better, more easily, or not. Okay, now we're going to go back to humming, and I want you first off to just put your fingers on the bridge of your nose, and we're going to hum again, and just notice if you feel any vibration. If you don't feel any vibration, pretend that you do. Imagine what it would be like if you did, okay? And open the space between your teeth. Now put your fingers on your cheekbones, and we're going to just gently tap with the teeth together. And then open your teeth. Great, okay? Same thing now up here. And the small hum. And open the space. Very good. So we're going to do sort of 3 levels of humming now. We've done 2 of them. The teeth more or less closed, the teeth more or less open. And the sound that comes at the end of the word sing, the NG sound, where your mouth is actually open, your lips are apart. The sound, so just say sing. Sing. There, right. So just nice and easy. Extend the NG. Don't try to hum. Just go sing. Sing. That's it. So we have and then our teeth apart, and then sing. Right. Tip of the tongue on the lower front teeth. The back part of the tongue, which you probably won't feel, goes up towards the soft palate. So let's do again the sing. Sing. Great. Now we're going to use that NG sound, and again we're going to try to move the sound backwards and then forwards. So we'll go, and now bring it forward so it's nasally. Excellent. You'd be amazed how many singers don't realize that they have options in where their sound comes out. Because we all have options. You can change the sound, the quality of the sound that you make. But we're just going to do a short scale humming. So we're going to start. We'll just listen a sec. Just 3 notes up and down. same thing. I'd like you to close your eyes and just be a little bit conscious of where you feel sound, wherever you sense it, hopefully above the throat. Okay, here we go again. Great. We're going to do the same thing again, and this time I want you to let lots of air sort of flow through your hum. Okay? It'll make it feel a little bit different. All right, same thing. I don't know if you could feel it or hear it, but it was an amazing difference in quality. So much more sound in the room when you do that. Now we're going to do 5 notes going up the scale. So it'll be back down, but all steady, okay? Here we go. Great, now we're going to try the same thing on that NG sound, the sing sound. So sing all the way up and down. Here we go. Excellent, great. All right, find the nice strong jaw muscle where your jaw and your skull meet, and just massage that muscle a little bit, and just do a nice easy yawn sigh. Go, oh. And stick your tongue out and go. Great, good. All right, do the same thing again, and we're going to yawn sigh, but try and start kind of way up in your falsetto. So it's and comes all the way down, nice and slow. Here we go. Oh, excellent, good. We should do a little bit of stuff about breath before we go on. So, in the meditation, mostly I always try to keep my breath quiet, but we don't take big breaths for the most part. And in normal living, we don't take a lot of breaths, a lot of deep breaths, because we don't need it very much. But if you're going to sing extended phrases, or if you're doing certain physical exercises, activities, you need to take a fuller breath. So this is the only other anatomy lesson, is your lungs are inside your chest. That's what your rib cage protects, that in the heart. And they're a little bit smaller at the top. They start way up here, and they get bigger as they come down. And we normally, to speak, use just a little tiny fraction of the capacity of the lungs. And then when we sing or when we do some other things which take more, we use maybe 20% of our lungs. And there's a lot more that's accessible for people who really need that kind of thing. We never use the full capacity of the lungs pretty much for anything, which is probably good because there's a lot left in reserve. You don't feel your lungs, like you don't feel your vocal cords. What you can feel are your abdominal muscles. And there's this diaphragm at the bottom of the lungs, and it goes down. That's what makes that little poof when you take a breath. So put your hand right below your rib cage. And if you take just a nice easy breath, your stomach, your liver, some other things go down and out. It's very gentle move. It's not when you say, okay, hit me, I'm strong. That's other muscles involved. If you just let your diaphragm go down, the epigastrium, poof. So try it one more time. And go. Great. So we're going to do the same thing again, and as we exhale on that little hissing sound, I want you to collapse your chest. So watch one time, we're going to go and sort of force the air out of the lungs. Okay, here we go. Squeeze it out. Great. Not very efficient. So this time we're going to keep that open, and we're going to try to exhale from the belly. All right, same thing. Keep this wide. Keep the energy down below. Great. So breathing for singing, we try to get the air nice and low, and then we try to be very careful about how we use the breath in singing so that it lasts a long time. And this is actually wonderfully functional for lots of other things. So what we're going to do is take a breath, and we're going to hiss out, and we're going to try to extend the hiss and make it long and steady. So you want not to feel this. If you're going, means you're just holding your muscles too tight. So it should sound much more steady. More of a, and don't worry about whether it goes, the pitch doesn't matter. It's just the steadiness of the quality. And just see how long you can go. And there's no shame in having a short. Nobody will not go on a date with you because you can't hiss very long. Just stay nice and open. Try to energize the belly and nice and slowly hiss. Okay? So breathing in nice and open and hiss. Great, relax. We'll try another one. We'll see if we can go longer. And stay open and calm in the chest. Great. And we'll do one more of the same thing. This time I want you to try to get your breath sense a little bit lower. So try to expand all the way down below your belly button with the breath. Okay? It's a wonderful thing to do if you're feeling stressed about something. Force yourself to take a really slow breath and exhale slowly. Do it 5 or 6 times. It's amazing what you'll forget about stress, which is really useful. Another thing about breathing, mentioned we feel it in the abdomen, and there's a lot of people who talk about sort of a platform at the bottom of the abdomen for breath. And the reason is that the abdominal muscles attach to the pelvis, and the lower you can get the sense of your breath, the better. And for some people, that bottom is a sort of platform, wherever you feel best, the attachment, the bottom of the breath. So we're just sitting well. If you're in a chair, make sure you're not slumped forward. Just going to breathe, and we're going to take a breath and hold it for 5. And I just want you to try to feel a continual expansion at the bottom once you've gotten an inhale. Make sure I explain that right. You're going to go, and then you're just going to get this kind of a sense at the bottom, and for 5 counts. Not very long 5 counts. And then we'll relax. Do the same thing. Take a breath in. Try to feel an expansion and really feel something down there. If you feel like you have to push on the muscles, that's okay. Just get that sense of where the expansion is. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, good. Here we go. Breath in. And expand for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Good. Same thing again, try to avoid tightening your throat when you're doing this. Just stay relaxed. Here we go. And expand. 1, 2, 3, 4. And release. And one more of those. Just feel as deep as you can go. And expand and deep. 1, 2. Then relax. Great. Okay, I hope you'll all be willing to stand up for a couple of minutes. And we're going to do the same thing we just did, but it feels completely different when you're standing up. So before we do that, put your hand wherever you think the core of your body is. Great. So some of you have it a little closer to the top, and some of you have it closer to the bottom. And that's a personal preference. It doesn't matter, because there is no real center. There's no little spot in there, which is necessarily. It's a sensational thing, wherever you feel most grounded. I want you to find this same kind of deep expansion, which is down the lowest you can get it, somewhere down in the pelvis area. But it goes all the way from right below your rib cage down to wherever you can feel the depth. Okay, so this time we're going to think about expanding that whole central core area for our 5 counts. And breathing in. and expand for 1, 2, feel the whole middle, 4, 5, relax the air. And let the air in, and expand the whole middle, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax the air. And one more time, letting the air in, and expand. Great, and let it out. Wonderful. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to take a long breath in, we're going to hold it for 5, and we're going to do that yawn side we did earlier. We go, oh, and just let that go and let the air carry that sound up and then down. Relaxing, breath in. And expand for 5, 2, 3, 4, and yawn side. That's a wonderful sound. Good. Now, don't worry about pitch at all. The next time we're going to do the same thing, and we're just going to go ha, ha. But I want you to put a hand on the sort of near your belly button, and you're going to feel a little tucking in, like when a baby cries or cat meows, their breath goes out. You want to feel that same thing. So just to make sure it's there, just nice and easy, go ha, 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 ha. Good. So if you're doing it with your shoulders, you're going ha, ha. It's not so efficient. Make sure it comes from the belly. So it's ha, ha. Great. Oh, good. You got it. All right. We're going to do the same. Breath in, expand for 5, and then we're just going to ha our way out. Okay? So you can do a bunch of ha's. If you run out of ha's, it's okay. All right. Here we go. Breath in. And nice and open, expanding. 2, 3, 4, and ha. Ha, 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 Good. I like you had your own rhythm. All right, we're going to do a little folk song called Frere Jacques. You probably heard it. Are you sleeping, Brother John? People sing it in French and English and Spanish, and it doesn't make any difference what you sing it in, because we're going to just do it on La La La. Actually, let's do it on O. So sing O. Okay? And what I want you to do is experiment with the feeling that there's nothing blocking here. If you sing with a closed throat, O, nothing necessarily wrong with that, except it'll tire your throat out after a while. So let air come through more in a feeling of O, like we did with the yawn side. I think, the air is just escaping. Here we go. O. Breathe whenever you need. And you can't sing the right notes, just don't worry about it and just make a noise. It doesn't matter right now. If it sounds like this, it doesn't matter. This is just about feeling the breath flowing and the air sounding. So again, I want you to try this, and we're going to see if we can get some sense of resonance up here. This is the hardest thing for people who aren't used to feeling resonance to get used to. So we're going to try, before we do it, 2 of our sort of diva women who make particular sounds. So we're going to try Julia Child, the old drunk cook, and say, "Oh, put a little more wine in it, dear." Here we go. A little more wine in it, dear. So now say the beginning of the song in French is Frère Jacques, and of course she would have liked French because all French cooking. So say, Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques. Wonderful. All right. The other one is the great star on Broadway who sang Everything's Coming Up Roses? Ethel, yes! So we'll just sing, everything's coming up roses. So don't worry if you don't know the words. It doesn't matter. Just make, so I should tell you, Ethel was a fabulous singer when she was young. And that's how she became so famous. She had this big, strong voice. But towards the end, she almost became a caricature of herself. And she gave what people expected, which was that incredibly powerful, but not very modulated sound. So we're a little bit making fun of her, but she sort of made fun of herself too. So it's okay. So that, just say that. All right, sing Everything's Coming Up Roses. Everything's coming up roses. Oh, no, for you and for me. Good. Not much of a tune to that song, is there? So those are sort of extremes of where we go. We've got the Ethel kind of resonance in the front. So it's got this sound, this hey, and then Julia who put everything in the back. Woo! So she would sing everything, that total opposite quality. So we'll just do a moment of Julia Childs imitating Ethel Merman. So whatever you think that sounds like on Everything's Coming Up Roses, try it. Excellent. All right, we'll rewrite Broadway's history. Very good. All right, now we're going to go back to Frere Jacques with a little Ethel Merman in the quality. So we'll still sing it on. We'll do la la la. I think la 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 la. So the low, and you want to feel the sound as much as you can in the back part of the throat, as if there's a big cavern of space there. Okay, here we go. So the difference in the sound from as far forward as you can get it to as far backward is that sort of range of qualities. Many people think, oh, my voice is ugly, or I don't like it, because it feels to them stuck in one particular place. So if you have a voice that kind of comes out that way, you just need to find out how you can experience more Julia. And reverse, if you've got one of those voices just using happy birthday to you. You just have to find your inner freedom and get the sound out towards an Ethel kind of quality. Okay, enough with Broadway. You can sit back down. We're going to learn a couple little tunes. We'll just do, this is a song called Gaudeamus Hodie. I know, it's scary. It's in Latin. It just means celebrate this day. Say Gaudeamus.
Gaudeamus.
Hodie.
Hodie.
Okay. There are two parts to this song. We're going to learn the second. Well, there are three. We're going to do two of them. We're going to do the second part first. It's that scale we did. So it goes Gaudeamus. Very easy. Sing that.
Gaudeamus.
That little bit, and then we'll all do it together. So just listen. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Try it. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Let's try the same thing again, letting the air flow through and just sort of guide the sound. So you're not really in control at this level, just letting the sound really come from the body. Excellent. The sound is beautiful. You're all singing the right notes. The pitch is great. The rhythm a little quicker at the end. So, Gaude amus hodie. Just let it flow a little faster. Okay, from the beginning one more time. If you can let the sound go really free and try to keep the shoulders uninvolved in the breath. So let the breath come down here. Excellent. Let's do that again. Okay, good. Now we're going to celebrate from the top down. So the next part of the song, I have to remember. Oh, no, it's from the bottom up. It's in my sons. Again, I'll sing and play part of it, and then you can join in with me on the repeat. So, Gaude amus, Gaude amus. Listen again. Gaude amus, Gaude amus. Don't worry, it's not hard. Ready? And
Gaude amus, Gaude amus.
right, so listen again. Let's sing it.
Gaude amus, Gaude amus.
Next bit is Gaude amus hodie. Almost the same.
Gaude amus hodie.
Put these two parts together, listen. Gaude amus, Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie. You can always leave out a breath if you don't need it.
Gaude amus, Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie.
One more time, those two little bits together.
Gaude amus, Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie.
Now the third part. Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie. Here we go.
Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie.
And a lot of times, for men in particular, when we let our voice go up higher, we forget to sort of free it. So that the male vocal anatomy is based on what's called chest voice or heavy mechanism, where we use the two vocal cords in a sort of muscular fashion. And when we go higher, we have to stretch out the cord, and so we use less of the muscle. So when you were young and your voice flipped over, it's because your body didn't know the coordination. You had Gaude amus, Gaude, that sort of thing. And it's just a muscle coordination. That these muscles here have to sort of release when it stretches. So as you go up, you have Gaude amus, Gaude. Let it go to the sweeter, headier, less sort of gravity-controlled quality. So we'll just sing that. Gaude amus, Gaude. Sing with your teeth apart. Now sing ma. Gaude amus, Gaude. Again.
Gaude amus, Gaude.
There, gorgeous. Now we'll have Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie. Here we go.
Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie.
Excellent. That was a beautiful sound. So this whole little phrase, this celebrate today, the beginning, 3 little bits. So sing one time. Gaude amus, Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie. Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie. So 2 little bits and then a longer bit. Okay, try it. Don't worry if you make a mistake. Not important.
Gaude amus, Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie.
Switch all one.
Gaude amus, Gaude amus hodie.
Excellent. Please stand up again. So that sort of sense of the core of the body and that expanded core that we felt, that's where you sing from, if you can find it. It works really well. So when you feel this sense of surround, support, you don't push on your voice so much. And that way you can sing for a lot longer and you can sing higher and lower and more freely. So we're just going to try and sing our Gaudeamus song using this. So let me show you 2 examples. If you're singing a little bit too much from your throat, this is not about how you sound, good or bad. It's just efficiency. You get Gaudeamus, the air is not really free to flow. If you let it out, Gaudeamus, the air flows, the chords don't work so hard. If you go too far, you just get a breathy sound. You get Gaudeamus. And we didn't do Marilyn Monroe today for a reason. So that, again, is an inefficient sort of thing. If you have a sore throat, the worst thing to do for it is whispering, because it's very hard on the vocal cords. So somewhere in that vast middle between Gaude and Gaude, anywhere in the middle is probably fairly healthy for you. Okay? So it's Gaudeamus, 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 Hodie. First bit. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Hodie. Not that fast. Same tempo we did before, okay? Taking a central core breath, and we'll open.
Gaudeamus, 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 Hodie. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Hodie.
That was beautiful, gentlemen. That was beautiful. It really was, remarkably. Now, we're not going to do Las Vegas, but I'd like you to put your hands together like this for a moment. And we're going to put them down in front of us, and we're just going to bring them up and open. Good. So we're going to do that when we go on the tall phrase. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Hodie. Right. So just leave your hands kind of towards the front. We'll sing Gaudeamus, 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 Hodie. Then during the long phrase, slowly open your arms and bring them down so they're moving the whole time you're singing that long phrase. Okay? Breath in, open the core, and
Gaudeamus, 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 Hodie. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Hodie.
We're going to start a men's choir. That was beautiful, y'all. All right. New song, very, very easy. Starting on that note where we went to the Gaudeamus, the top note, we're going to sing Alleluia. And it goes, Alleluia. That's the first half, just 4 notes. Here we go. Alleluia. Now I want you all to experience the high part of your voice, even if you're a low, deep bass singer. So sing Gaudeamus, One more time. Let's do that.
Gaudeamus,
You don't know how beautiful that is. That is wonderful. Now we're going to start with that top note and we're going to sing the Alleluia. So we're going to okay, here we go, with arms. Alleluia. Singing the tune is 4 notes down. Alleluia. Here we go. We don't need the second half. That was beautiful. We're going to do exactly the same thing again, and the sort of the final step for most singing people is the release of the sound into the space. And we have a great space for doing that. So listen for a sec. If I'm singing inside, I'll sing Alleluia, which I enjoy very much because the sound goes directly from here through the bones and the eustachian tube into my ears. I hear it directly. But much better for anybody aside from me is to let the sound out of my body so that I hear the sound after it goes out, so that the sound is in the room. So here's inside my head again. Ale, and now released to the room is Alleluia. So there may not be a big difference outside of me, but inside I'm no longer feeling the sound go but Ale. So the sound is out of my body. Does that make some sense? Mm-hmm. And you were beginning to do that the last time we sang Alleluia. So let as much air flow through, and we're going to do the arms again, just sing those 4 notes, Alleluia. Here we go, and Excellent. Your lu and your ya were fabulous. Your ah and your lay were good. Let's see if we can get them fabulous too. So we're going to hold that note with more air. Listen. Ah. Now with more air. Ah. This is, I'll sing it one time. I want you to do it. We're going to do this. Ah. So you're going to feel like I'm not going to let the air out, and then I am going to let the air out. Okay? Here we go. Now we're going to do that pattern going right away to the I will let the air out. So we'll say Hallelujah in slow motion, letting the air go free very quickly. Here we go. And gorgeous. Really. Seriously. Do we have any time left? Excellent. We do another song. No, let's stop. Now, I have personally just a little bit of trouble with that song because of the text and the way it's been used for a million different things. Amazing Grace, right? Just sort of an American anthem in a way. It's been used in so many movies that it represents America all over the world. And the original Amazing Grace, oh my gosh, what comes next? Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was blind, but now I see, that sort of stuff. Nothing wrong with the first verse. When you get later on into the stuff about sin and how horrible I am and worthless little stupid worm on the floor. I worked for a little while at a very fire and brimstone kind of church. And I'm very familiar with that sort of stuff, so I get a very negative reaction to this. But I learned recently that that is not an American hymn. It's an English hymn written by a fellow who was involved in slave trading. And what it was about to him was discovering the error of his ways, we all have errors in our ways, of being an active participant in the slave trade. And when he decided to stop doing that and to work instead towards the freeing the slaves and stopping the slave trades, that's when he was inspired to write this song. And so it's been used for other things, but it came from a wonderful basic concept. So, and it's a great song to sing. So let's just sing that much. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. So from down here, open up and read through the core.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Right here. So we're going to use this as a little vocalese. Listen for a sec. Little sense of a crescendo, a freeing of the sound. So listen again. Here's without. Nothing happens. Amazing grace. So you have some sense of freeing up the sound. So just to make it easier, first time, put your hands in the middle, and we're going to open them up as we open. So listen again. Amazing grace. So we're going to do that on Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. 4 of those notes. Take a breath whenever you need. Here we go.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Excellent. So the more you can get a sense of freeing whatever is in here to you, that sort of core energy of the body, into your sound, the more it'll feel good, basically. The more it'll sound good, but for you, the more it'll feel good to just sing really from here, letting everything open up inside. So we'll do the same thing again, okay? Breath.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Excellent. Now we haven't talked about the vowels. So we're saying that's our first vowel. Amazing grace, same vowel. How sweet. Another kind of a closed vowel, small one. The sound, a much bigger vowel. And each one of those has a different sensation in the head and a different shape for the vocal cords when they make it. So when we sing Amazing Grace, it'll be about the same. How sweet. It's a little higher in the voice, so it'll feel a little different, just because the chords have to stretch out. and how sweet the sound. That sound will be much more round. So we'll sing, I'm going to show you slightly different hands now. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Just so you sort of experience the difference in vowels. So we've got flat, not flat, but sort of whatever this is, and then you sort of pull it because it's a thin vowel for E, and a nice round one for the last. Okay, here we go. And
amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
oh, what a nice sound your sound was. Now we're going to sing the whole thing on different vowels. We're just going to sing all A on the melody, so we really get used to the A vowel. Then we'll sing the whole thing on E, then we'll sing the whole thing on A. So just 3 times in a row with that different feeling. You can do hands, not do hands, whatever you want. Just don't do anything that closes off your chest. Keep the sound open, the core expanded. And the first one is A. Rep. Will you tell me when we're running out of time?
5 minutes.
Is that all? Okay, so I remember I went to get this weird massage, I can't remember what it's called, which was just an abdominal massage, and so she was digging everything, and so and then she said, no, just let your mouth hang open. And so I went, and she said, no, open your mouth. I said, well, that's comfortable to me, just this little tiny opening. And that's fine for most anything you do, but if that's your normal mouth opening for singing, you need to let it hang a little bigger. I've had to learn to do this. I want to just go, amazing grace, because that's comfortable for my mouth to be open. But you need to open a little bit bigger. There are a few of you who have, like me, a small space here. So just go, ah. Now we're going to sing the little song one more time on ah, and just let your mouth hang that open. It may feel funny. So just do another yawn side. Leave your mouth hanging, and we're going to go, here we go. Stand on one foot or the other, it doesn't matter. Stand on one foot and just move your other foot a little bit. Good, and reverse. Right. So, moving and singing really go together wonderfully well. Remember the first time I went to a recording studio with a kind of famous singer who we were going to make a CD, and I guess it was a CD at that point, I don't remember. And so here she was, famous singer. We'd rehearsed one time, and she did normal singer things. When it came time to the recording, she's like, I don't like this space. She just got down on her knees and she did all sorts of moving things like that. Sound was gorgeous. People don't, and if you see recording studios, and I've been involved in lots of recordings, singers will do whatever they need to do to release whatever their body's holding on to let the sound go out. And they will be doing this and that, and all kinds of things, as long as it doesn't get too much in the way of this. I've seen singers standing for recordings on one foot. Whatever works. The reason for it is to get this core involved in the singing, to get that sort of sense that you get if you just raise one foot. There's just the right amount of intention and energy in the abdomen to support singing. So it's just the same thing as if you were climbing stairs or going up a little way or anything like that. There's just a little bit of tension, a little bit of readiness, which really sort of supports all that singing energy, so that the energy is here the freedom is there. Okay? Let's do that song one more time. Doesn't matter if we have different melodies. We'll get to the end together somehow. Okay? And I want you to move somehow. It doesn't matter. If all you do is this, that's fine. If you want to be swinging your arms around so you don't hit anything, that's great. Okay? Here we go. And, that was wonderful. Thanks very much. If you have any questions or in 2 minutes left or whatever we have, that's fine.
We have a couple minutes for questions or comments.
Can we sit down?
You can sit down.
Do you teach?
Yes.
What do you think the impact of singing together is on the spiritual community?
Just ask me things I know about. I remember when first time I went to a meditation group, it was a small group, like 6, 8 gay men together, and it was sort of specialized, meditation with this really interesting woman. And there were 2 people in the group who I know that if I'd gone to dinner with, I would have hated. Just because I could tell right away from the time beforehand. And when we did the meditations, which were all guided and directed meditations, everything was really wonderfully open, and there was no interference. And I actually liked those 2 guys. One of them not very much, but during the meditation there was absolutely no interference. And because it was guided meditation, you could really tell if there was some sort of emotional interference, because then you get a block on what you were trying to visualize. And I find the same thing in choral settings. I work with hundreds of singers in choruses. I work right now with 4 choruses, and there must be about 320 singers, something like that. And I like every one of those people. And there are a number of people in those groups who I would not like under any other circumstances. And there are people over and over tell me, how do you like this person? How can you be so welcoming to that irritating, ungrateful wretch of a person? And it's because when you sing together, you're doing something, in a sense, very spiritual, and you're making a sound together. And if you blend, if you really sing, it is the most wonderful experience to be part of a group making music, whether it's singing or in an orchestra. And I actually sang in a concert last night. I partly directed and partly sang. And there's this wonderful quality where when you're singing with other people and you can hear yourself, and all of a sudden you can't tell if it's you or the person behind you or the person next to you. And the sound comes together and you're really doing something together. It's amazing. It really is an amazing feeling to do. Wonderful insight. Yeah.
I'm just wondering on the closing whether we could either do a toning or an ohm.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we have a ceremony, but do that as well as just have a blessing.
Great. Yes.
Why don't women have Adam's apples?
Oh, they have Eve's apples.
Or is it?
They have exactly the same thing, just smaller. The vocal cords, men's sound, for most men, there are countertenors and a few people who are called sopranists who actually are up there when they sing. But generally, our voices, when we go through puberty, make a big shift, adolescence, puberty, and they get much larger than women's. And that's why our Adam's apples are more prominent, because there's actually more stuff there to protect. Women's are smaller, and thus the sound is an octave higher in general than men's. And there are some women with very prominent Adam's apples and very low voices. Yeah. The anatomy is not really different. Yes?
Can we do this again?
I'd love to. It's fun. Yeah.
I just found the experience very embodying, to move me from, I came in and I had a coffee and I was all like, and then to come in, it takes me down much more grounded into the lower part of my body, and it's also sort of emotionally opening as well, somehow.
Great.
Do you do any work with like Buddhist chants and like that kind of spiritual music?
No, unfortunately. I'd love to, but I don't.
Okay.
I have a church job right now, which I'm very happy with because it's a Unitarian church, and so there's basically no set dogma, and we pretty much avoid Christian, sort of that kind of Christian pressure you get in most churches. But there's a want of things Eastern, Eastern in origin, and I don't know why. But the hymnal has stuff from every culture, but there's one Buddhist chant that's really bad, so we never do it.
Brian, will you be available to take questions after?
For a little bit, I have a place I have to be for the next thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be.
We need to find out who our host is.
I'm the host today.
Okay.
So welcome to everybody. I brought some refreshments for our social time afterwards. Everybody's sort of aware of this. It's just to remind you to wash out your coffee cup, contribute to the Donna Bowl, and sign up for things if you want to. And then there's a group that'll go to lunch afterwards that usually meets by the door if you'd like to do that.
Pam Weiss was a speaker who was here 6 weeks ago. She talked on, I think, something like speech, Zen background. She is actually starting a new meditation group at the Unitarian Universalist Church on Wednesday night. So it's a midweek sitting group up on Gary and something. Goff, thank you. And I would thoroughly recommend it. She's a wonderful Dharma teacher with both Zen and Vipassana background. She's now in the teacher's training program at Spirit Rock. And it's also the only group in the city that's led by a female. So it's going to be weekly. So if you fancy it.
It's not true.
Oh, it's not?
LBGT has a co-leader who's
a co-leader. So that's Wednesday, 7 to 9. Semi-true.
It's almost true.
Any other announcements? Okay, Brian, you'll lead us in the closing.
Sure. What do you do in the circle?
Or can we stand in a circle and hold hands? Yeah.
I don't know anything about the ritual part, but I can give you notes to hum. So if those of you who feel like you're a little lower in voice, go and then the other side. And you can pick any other note you want, but if you have that fifth quality, it makes a nice open resonance. So, and try to get the hum that comes from inside the body and goes right out through the head.
Thank you for listening to the Gay Buddhist Forum. If you would like to hear several new talks per month and be notified of upcoming speakers so you can participate live, please subscribe to this podcast, like us on Facebook, and join our mailing list by visiting gaybuddhist.org.